to the UFC is going to be making their first trip to Saudi Arabia this weekend with the main event of Robert Whittaker versus Aliskerov. Hamza Chimaev was meant to be in this fight, but somebody, a reporter named Benny P, at Benderman2001 on Twitter, reported. He reported that that fight was off, and then he reported that Ikram Aliskerov would be stepping in, and here he is. That's the new main event. Great reporter, that guy. Really knows his shit, I think. A lot of people seem to be doubting him, but he was pretty on the money on this one, so shout out to Benny P on Twitter. But anyway, we got the first fight of the night, which is Long Xiao versus Chung Ho Lee. This is the Road to UFC finale fight for last year in the bantamweight division. I'm going to go Chung Ho Lee. I really do believe in this guy. I picked him when he was a massive underdog against Damisi Sapusai. I probably butchered that, but I do think Chung Ho Lee's going to win. He's a dog in there. Long's not like a horrible fighter. He did lose to Christian Quinones, and I know that that guy is in the UFC, but I don't rate him very highly by any means. And he did sort of get like masterclass in that fight from memory. And Chung Ho Lee is just a very good fighter all round. He says that he wants to be like the Korean Habib. He's got very good grappling, good ground and pound. He's got that grit. He came back. He made a very crazy comeback in that last fight. So, like, even if this guy's down, he's going to be coming to kill the whole fight. So, I like that dog. I like the dog that he's got in him. So, I do like Chung Ho Lee to get this one done. Then we have Magomed Gadzisulov versus Brenson Ribeiro. Brenson Ribeiro, coming off that big-time KO loss to Mingyang Zhang, I think it was. He's a very powerful guy. He's got good power. But I think most times out of 10, I don't think he's beating Bruno Lopez. I think Bruno Lopez is a better fighter than Ribeiro. I feel like that is the best you're going to get out of Ribeiro, is that win that he got over Bruno Lopez. I don't think we see that most times out of 10 from this man. Is he a bad fighter? I wouldn't say he's a bad fighter, but he's got a very big flaws. You also look at the guys he's beat. He hasn't really beat anyone too great. He's been KO'd a lot as well. Now, Magomed doesn't have crazy power or anything by any means. I don't think he's like a crazy knockout artist. I mean, he's only got one like KO on the feet. The rest are like ground and pound. He is a striker as well. He's a rare Dagestani striker. He honestly, I'm not even kidding, he throws fucking Superman punches off the cage. He tried a Showtime kick. That's what it was. He went for a Showtime kick, and I think he landed it in a few of his fights. So he's very unorthodox. I also think he can wrestle if he needs to. I do think he can get Ribeiro down. Ribeiro is big, got a long reach on him. But I am going to take Magomed here. I do think he's not bad. He does have a lack of power, which is concerning at light heavyweight, but I do think he is overall a good fighter. But he beat the absolute shit out of Jose Medina. And shout out Jose Medina. He's not the greatest fighter in the world by any means, but he's got a UFC contract and he's got his first fight book. So congratulations to Jose Medina. But I am going to go Magomed Gadzhulov, probably by decision. I think he can wrestle here as well. I think he will be able to at least win 2-3 rounds here. I think Ribeiro will come out hot in the first, maybe knock down Magomed, but I think it's going to be all Magomed after that. Then we have Moon Gafarov versus Kwang Ho Kang. Now, this is an interesting fight. This is another interesting fight, man. Because I don't know. Kang Ho Kang, he's like such a weird fighter because he is generally really good. But he's like old as well, so it's like, how do I even predict this? You know what? He's definitely more trusted than Gafarov. Gafarov hasn't looked really good at all in any of his fights. Clearly lost to Castaneda, lost to Chad Anheiger. I think it was a close fight though, obviously. But like outside of that, he lost to John Lineker. No shame in that either. I'm gonna go Kang Ho Kang. I'm not super confident in it, but he just seems to be able to chat his way to victory, and I do like that in these fights. So I'm gonna go with Kang Ho Kang by maybe late submission. He is a very good grappler. So I'll say late submission. Could see a decision, but I'm gonna go late. I'm gonna go late submission. I think he's got the better cardio here than Gafarov. But yeah, moving on up, we have Rinat Fikretinov versus Nicholas Dalby. I'm gonna take Rinat Fikretinov here. I know he gassed out and he didn't look amazing in that fight against Alessio Dos Santos. But he did look amazing actually in those first 2 rounds. He immediately knocked down Alessio Dos Santos, which is fucking insane because that guy's got a granite chin. Like, that guy barely ever gets knocked down. Randy Brown didn't even knock him down in their fight. He is a very good fighter, Rinat Fikretinov. I think he just he was a bit off in that fight. Like, he just, I don't know, he was like playing around. He's like, oh, good job. Like, good job, brother. He's like tapping him on the shoulder. Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have got that one out of there. He could have got Dos Santos out of there, but it was just a weird performance all round by Rinat Fikretinov. Now, Nicholas Dalby's coming off that win over Gabriel Bonfim, and in that fight he was losing bits of it, but like he just sort of chatted his way to victory. He broke Bonfim in there, which is crazy because Gabriel Bonfim is a very good prospect in my opinion. So like that was generally a surprising result. And he could replicate that performance here against Rinat Fikretinov, but I do think Rinat is like a bigger guy. He's got a better, much longer reach as well than Bonfim. Like, he's going to be able to land his shots. He's got very weird striking. He's very robotic, but he is just so powerful. Like, he's generally got some fucking pop in his shots. I think he can also take down Dalby as well. Dalby does have good takedown defense, but he is getting older. If he beats Rinat Fikretinov, man, holy fucking shit. Like, Rinat's not like, I don't think Rinat's going to be champion or anything like that, but Rinat is a very good fighter. If Dalby can just fucking go back-to-back fucking fraud checks, I will be surprised, because let's not forget, this guy lost to Tim Means, like, 2 years ago. Like, not that Tim Means is a bad fighter, but Tim Means is much older. Like, it's crazy. Look at the run that Dalby's on. Claudio Silva, Wally Alves, Muslim Salikov, Gabriel Bonfim. Like, he fucking lost to Jesse Ronson a couple years ago. Ronson did pop, but like he got choked out by Jesse Ronson a lightweight. Like, it's just crazy. I respect the run Dalby's on, but I do think it ends this weekend by the hands of the Tatar Rinat Fikretinov. Then we have Nasrat Haqparast versus Jared Gordon. I'm gonna go Nasrat Haqparast here. No disrespect to Jared Gordon. I think Jared Gordon's a great guy. He's a good fighter, very underrated guy. Should have beat Paddy Pimblett, but he does have a big flaw in his game, and it's not like his overall game, but it's just more of a physical thing, and that is his chin. His chin is very sus. He's been KO'd a few times here now. Now, he did get a KO his last fight against Mark Madsen, which is pretty fucking crazy, but he got knocked out by Charles Oliveira, who, no shame there, knocked out by Joaquim Silva, knocked out by Diego Ferreira, doctor stoppage by Jeff Lentz. So he's been chinned a few times, normally only by Brazilians, but then also we got to factor in that Bobby Green fight was a fucking head clash, and he got knocked out. That was probably the worst KO he's had. He got knocked out by the head clash, and Bobby Green landed about fucking 5 shots as he was out cold, unconscious. So his chin is, it's taken a lot of damage. He is 35 years old. Nasrat is the fresher fighter going into this fight. I don't think Jared Gordon's going to be able to chin Nasrat. And Nasrat is on a good run. He's a good boxer. He's coming off chinning Jamie Mullarkey, which unfortunately for us Mullarkey enjoyers is something you're going to hear a lot in the coming months when all these guys get booked, because everybody seems to be chinning Jamie Mullarkey now. I do think his chin is gone, but regardless, man, he did chin Jamie Mullarkey. Had a back and forth war with Landon Quinones. Beat John Makdessi, dropped Makdessi in that fight as well. I think he's going to be able to go in there, and I think he's going to chin Jared Gordon. I think, even though Jamie Mullarkey's coming off a lot of KO losses, I still think Mullarkey, at the time he fought Nasrat, probably had a better chin than Gordon. Gordon's good defensively. He does have underrated hands. He's good in the clinch, but I do think Nasrat is going to find his chin, and I think he's going to find it pretty early in this fight. So I'm going to go Nasrat late first round, second round KO in this fight. Then we have Shara Magomedov versus Jolton Ladabach. Now, this Jolton guy is very, very interesting. If you look at his record, He's 38-10 in MMA, but like holy fuck, this is like that is not even the extent to how much this guy's fought. He has fought. Okay, let's just get this all out of the way. He's had exhibition MMA fights as well that aren't on his record for the Ultimate Fighter. He's got Muay Thai bouts on his record, kickboxing bouts on his record. He's had custom rules bouts booked, kickboxing, boxing, modified rules kickboxing, cage boxing, karate combat. He's got some grappling matches as well. This guy just likes to fucking fight. And I love that. I really do love that about this guy. This guy just loves to fight. He doesn't care the rule set. As long he's got some proper boxing matches as well that aren't on his Tapology. The guy just loves to scrap. Like, you can tell this guy, if he wasn't signed to the UFC, he was going to fucking just fight another 10 times or something like that. He's 31 years old. He is young. But the thing that is really bad for him in this matchup, in my opinion, is that, you know, he is not a middleweight by any means. This guy fought as low as lightweight in the PFL. He lost to Clay Collard back in the day. He's also a former Glory kickboxer as well. That's probably worth mentioning. Like, this is generally crazy that he is fighting at middleweight. He's going to be very undersized in this fight over Shara Bullet. Shara Magomedov has fought as high as light heavyweight. He is going to be massive in there in this fight. He's going to be so much bigger. And I do think that is going to matter here because Jolton's got a grappling game, but he is primarily a striker. But, you know, Shara Bullet does have pretty bad takedown defense. So maybe we're going to see a wrestling game from Jolton? I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering his name here again. But Lutabach, you know, he is a striker by trade. He can grapple though, so that will be interesting. But I think he's going to be too small. Bruno Silva is a big guy. He would not probably make welterweight. And he was able to get Shara Bullet down, but Shara Bullet was still very aggressive in his guard, good elbows, was doing clear damage. So this is going to be a very interesting fight. Lutabach does freeze people as well. I'm very excited to watch this guy fight, but he is a lightweight at the end of the day, maybe at best a welterweight, but he's going to be so undersized there. His last fight, it says he weighed in at 165 pounds. I'm not quite sure how accurate that is. He's got a few karate matches. One was open weight, then welterweight. So there's not really too much information here, but he did get chinned in a modified rules kickboxing match at middleweight. So yeah, he's been knocked out a few times. I think that Shara Bullet's going to get him out of there in this fight. I think he's going to get him with one of those crescent kicks. I don't know. I just picture Shara Bullet. One thing I don't like about Shara Bullet's game, though, besides the takedown defense, is his lack of boxing. He doesn't really seem to have much offense in the hands. So it is, I'm not actually too confident in Shara Bullet here. I think he's a good prospect, but he's a good kicker. His kicking game is elite, but he needs to really diversify his arsenal here. Like, we need to see more boxing out of him because at the end of the day, you can't just kick your way to a world championship. You got to have some fucking punching ability as well. But again, Ben Askren, he doesn't know how to throw a fucking punch, and he won Bellator and won championship, so who knows? I'm probably fucking wrong here. Then we have Johnny Walker versus Volkan Oezdemir. I've been thinking about this fight back and forth quite a lot. I'm going to take Volkan Oezdemir here. I just think he can catch Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker went on a good run there, but he is coming off another KO loss. He's been KO'd many times. Volkan Oezdemir can catch people. He's got good power. I'm not super confident in this though. Johnny Walker is very, very crazy athletic. He's a very athletic fighter in there. He's very big. He's a massive, massive light heavyweight. But I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to be able to stuff takedowns, and I think he is going to be able to catch Johnny Walker precisely on the chin. He's very precise with that, and I think he will be able to get Johnny Walker out of there, but not super confident on this. I could see Johnny Walker being so athletic and bullying him in there, but I'm going to just pick Volkan Oezdemir here, but not super confident on this. This is a good card where you're not really confident in any of these picks. They're the best cards. Then we have Muhammad Naimov versus Felipe Lima. I just watched one of Lima's fights, his last fight actually. I watched bits of it. This guy's a grappler, mainly a grappler. He's got some good kicks in his game, but primarily this guy is trying to take you down. He's a fence clincher as well. He likes to clinch you against the fence. And, you know, he looks solid. He looks like a solid fighter, but this is short notice. And I think that people probably aren't realizing with this short notice fight is he's a bantamweight moving up to a fighter featherweight. But, like, Naimov isn't a small featherweight by any means. This guy has fights at lightweight. He did knock out Jamie Malarkey, which, there we go, there's Malarkey being mentioned, getting KO'd again. But, you know, I think Naimov, he's big, he's powerful. I think he'll be able to keep it standing. I think he's going to be much stronger than Felipe Lima here. Who knows how Lima's gas tank will be. I think he was booked for a fight. So it's not like he's just coming in here on complete short notice. He was booked to fight in July. So, you know, it was going to rematch the guy he just beat. But, you know, still, I like this fight for Naimov. I think Naimov is going to be able to catch him at will quite a bit. I think his punches are going to be pretty fucking big as well compared to Lima. I think he's going to have a lot of power because of the size difference here. So I'm going to go Muhammad Naimov. I'm going to go second round TKO. I don't think he'll knock him out cold, but I do think we'll see a TKO here from Naimov. Then we have Kelvin Gastelum versus Daniel Rodriguez. It's the battle of the Mexican Americans. I'm going to take Kelvin Gastelum here. I'm not confident in this pick. He did look awful against Sean Brady, but that was, you know, that was due to the wrestling. And, you know, most of the time middleweights coming down, they don't tend to do much better at welterweight. But Daniel Rodriguez, he's coming off some bad losses. Choked unconscious by Neil Magny. Got knocked out by Ian Gary. So I'm gonna trust in Kelvin Gastelum here. I know I probably fucking shouldn't, but I think Kelvin Gastelum is got that dog in him. I think he can stand and bang here with Daniel Rodriguez. I don't think either of these guys are going to shoot. But if anyone does shoot, I think Kelvin Gastelum will probably have the better wrestling here to get this fight down. So I like this fight quite a lot for Kelvin Gastelum. You know, I think he can land at will, like I say. He's got a really sneaky good leg kick as well that I can see him landing a lot on Daniel Rodriguez. And I think he's got the better chin here by far over Daniel Rodriguez as well. So, and he's younger as well. We've got to factor in Daniel Rodriguez is 36 at welterweight. That is pretty old. So I'm going to take Kelvin Gastelum to get this one done. Then we have Sergey Pavlovich versus Alexander Volkov. This is a no-brainer pick in my opinion. Not just because I'm a big fan of this guy, but because Alexander Volkov said as much. He's never won a fucking round of sparring against Pavlovich. Pavlovich has apparently fucked him up every single time they spar. And I know that's sparring and can't look too much into it. But the fact Volkov is just like, yeah, I didn't want to fight him, but I've turned down too many fights at this point that I have to just fucking fight him. I would be pretty fucking confident Pavlovich is going to knock him out here. Now, they are former training partners, so who knows here. Maybe they'll be tentative and they won't want to hurt each other. But I think if they fight like they spar, I think Pavlovich is going to knock out Volkov. Volkov's very good, but Pavlovich matches him over. He's got a longer reach. He's more powerful. He's a big guy. Maybe Volkov can be a sniper here and land something. But I think Pavlovich is going to sort of bully him here and get him out of there pretty early. But we'll see what happens. But I'm going with Sergey Pavlovich first round KO. I think the first round KO streak comes back here in this fight. Then we have Robert Whittaker versus Ikram Aliskerov. 5-rounder, main event. Massive step up for Ikram here. Like, generally, you're looking at a guy whose last win was against Wally Alves. Like, that is pretty fucking crazy. He's fighting Robert Whittaker. His 2 wins in the UFC are Phil Hawes and Wally Alves. Guys who aren't, you know, at the top of their career right now. Phil Hawes especially. Like, he's been knocked out that many times. Like, it's sort of crazy. I like this fight a lot for Robert Whittaker. I really do. People are going to think Ikram's a KO artist, but, you know, Phil Hawes has the worst chin in the UFC. Like, generally, I don't want to shit on Phil Hawes. He's a very talented fighter, very good fighter, but his chin just lets him down. And then Wally Alves is also got a really bad chin nowadays. And he's just on a fucking bad streak of things. You know, he got fucking beat by Abbas Magomedov his last fight as well. So that win isn't even aging very good for Ikram. Ikram's a good striker, but I think it's just because he's fought lower tier competition. Because if you look at his other fights, there was a fight he had on Eagle FC against Nashun Burrell, who former UFC vet. He did not look great in that fight. He got gassed out, if I remember that fight correctly. He slowed down. He couldn't get the finish, and then it was like, you know, Nashon was actually starting to cook a little bit in the end, but it was a little too late. And people are always going to bring up that, you know, oh, you know, he gave Khamzat Chimaev a tough fight. He didn't really, you know, yes, did he stuff the takedowns against Khamzat Chimaev? Yes. But outside of that, what the fuck did he do for offense? He didn't land any good combos. Khamzat fucking dropped him before he knocked him out cold. He dropped him with a jab. He dropped him maybe another time, but I know he definitely dropped him with a jab. Khamzat couldn't take him down, but he clearly fucking knocked him out cold. I've seen people that BT Sports guy, the bald one, he said like, oh, what a fucking G, Robert Whittaker is taking a fight against a fighter that some people think is even better than Khamzat Chimaev. It's like, well, no. Khamzat Chimaev already fought this fucking guy and he knocked him out cold. Khamzat is clearly better than Ikram. So I'm just going to put that out there. But Ikram is a very good fighter, but split decisions to Chad Hancom, not a fucking good look by any means. Many years ago, so I'm not going to hold that, you know, fight against him too much. That was 6 years ago. We're all different people from where we were 6 years ago. But like, he took Dennis Turulan to the third round. And Dennis had some good takedown defense in that fight. Robert Whittaker's got much better takedown defense than any of the guys he's fought. He's got better striking. He's going to be quicker as well. Better gas tank, I reckon. I think Robert Whittaker fucking runs away with a pretty decisive decision here. Now, maybe Robert Whittaker's chin is gone. I don't think he's got a granite chin by any means. So maybe Ikram can land something, but I don't know. I just think Rob is much better than Ikram, especially short notice. Rob was preparing for a 5-rounder, prepared for a wrestler like Khamzat Chimaev, and now you're going to give him a Sambo world champion who is also a grappler. You know, it's just an ideal replacement for Robert Whittaker. It's not like a crazy different stylistic matchup from Khamzat Chimaev. You're fighting a less powerful, less aggressive version of Khamzat who has been chinned, that you know is beatable, that you know is chinnable. Like, I feel like that is really good for Ikram here. So I'm going to take Robert Whittaker to get this one done. I just see him piecing up Ikram over the course of this fight, and Ikram has shown to slow in some of these fights, in my opinion. So I think Robert Whittaker having a full camp here. Yes, Ikram was booked against Antonio Tricoli last weekend, but that was a 3-rounder. He's not 5-round ready by any means, and completely different fucking type of guy to prepare for. He was preparing for Andre Muniz originally, nothing like Robert Whittaker. Preparing for Antonio Tricoli, nothing like Robert Whittaker. So he is coming into this fight, you know, not properly prepared for a karate blitz type guy with great takedown defense. So we'll see how this fight turns out. But I think Whittaker might get his first stoppage in a while, to be honest. I think he's going to put a pretty big beating on Ikram towards the latter end of the first round. Maybe Ikram steals the first, but I think the second round, Robert Whittaker is going to start to cook a lot more. He's got to watch out for those elbows. That is something about Ikram. He's got elbows that Darren Till, you know, did catch Robert Whittaker with. So there is some openings. I don't think this is a mismatch by any means, but I do think Robert Whittaker is going to get this one done by a masterclass. And I think he gets a stoppage, maybe late third, early fourth round. So that is my prediction for this card. I got Robert Whittaker. Last weekend I didn't do the greatest, but last weekend's card was absolute dog shit. I didn't even make a video afterwards because that card sucked that much. I literally just didn't want to fucking talk about it. It was like, okay, that is a card that doesn't even fucking deserve to ever be mentioned ever again. So I'm not even going to say the name of the card. But last weekend's card sucked. But this card's weekend has some fucking real potential. So I'm really excited for this card. Let me know your prediction in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. And shout out Benny P for breaking the news. You know, and give myself a pat on the back. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.